Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om, I bow to the Lord Vasudeva. Joy to you, friends. We're reading from the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse 20. This self is not born, nor does it perish. Self-existent, it continues its existence forever. It is birthless, eternal, changeless, and ever the same. The self is not slain when the body dies. It's important to understand that when you leave this body, you yourself do not die. It doesn't matter what you believe. Most or many people, especially if they've been listening to scientists, scientists are human beings. I've been amazed at how blind they can be. When Velikovsky came up with his theory about the formation of Venus from the red eye in Jupiter, scientists, I don't think he was right, he probably wasn't, but scientists boycotted any publisher that would publish his books. Why should they be? I mean, they did book burning in the days of Savonarola. Should scientists be that way too? They're supposed to be objective, but they're human beings. And human beings tend to be dogmatic and bigoted, no matter what their claim to broad-mindedness is. I remember my father insisting they'll never be able to go to the moon. I never talked to him after they did go to the moon, but that was just a part of his blindness. He was a geologist, and his reality was under the earth. We find that in death, that you have to think of death as your final exam. How you have lived your life is what you will find after you die, after you leave this body. The consciousness continues. There is no way, if matter cannot be destroyed, but it can be transmuted into energy, then how can consciousness be destroyed? People think that consciousness is the result of activity in the brain. No, it's consciousness that makes the brain possible. Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am." But that's not true. You can be without thought and still be aware of being. And the more you think, the less aware you are. Whereas if you are very calm, you can see things very clearly. So Descartes, like many scientists, barked up the wrong tree. And I don't say, therefore, science is all wet. That's not true. If they found wonderful truths, but don't make a shrine of it. Because every few years they change their minds about something, whereas these truths in the Bhagavad Gita, taught thousands of years ago, they're still true today. There isn't any saint or master or yogi who has ever realized God, who's ever said, well, I disagree with so-and-so. They may have disagreed with people's interpretations. That's another thing. Buddha came to correct the karmakand of the Vedas, where people were thinking that only by ceremonies to purify themselves. He said, you've got to do the work yourself. He didn't even want to talk about God, as a result of which his followers decided there is no God. It's always the followers who make these mistakes. So Shankaracharya had to come along and say that there is a God, but he doesn't have a form. He's not Lakshmi or Krishna or any of those forms, Shiva, Vishnu, etc. He is Satchidananda, ever existing, ever conscious, ever new bliss. And so he said everything else is a dream. And so his followers said, well, nothing exists because it's a dream. But my guru pointed out that even in dreams, if, as I said the other day, if you hurt your head in a dream, your dream head will hurt. So the dream has reality on its own level too. And your death has reality, at least to your consciousness of this physical body. Just think of it. It's a very good thing to meditate on. I encourage people to meditate on death. Many people don't want to. They're afraid of it. But sooner or later, you're going to have to leave everything. You'll leave your friends, your parents, your wife, your husband, your children, your job, your neighborhood. And when you come back, you may come back to a very different place. So when you die, be prepared by every day throwing into, every evening, I think of, build a bonfire and throw into that bonfire all your identities, all your attachments. Ego, or personality rather, is just built up of your self-identifications, your self-definitions. You need to get rid of them. You need to stop saying I'm a man or a woman. You may be a man may be a woman and vice versa in their next life. I do think that basically a soul is either of the solar or the lunar tribe, you might say. The soul is either basically outgoing or basically receptive. And so usually a person will be either a man or a woman, but still that's superficial. You're not either one. Are soulmates a reality? It's something I've often wondered, because in one of Yogananda's articles, he said that there has to be the union with the soulmate, even if that soulmate is on another planet. He said it cannot be sexual, and it may be a person of the same sex even. It's a matter of union of souls. But the idea of it, to me, is slightly unpleasant. I'd rather think that I am the soulmate of God. I just want to merge in him. And I think that whatever my delusions on that, this is the comfortable one for me. We have to choose those delusions which are always delusions, because any mental definition is a delusion, but at least those that work for us and make us feel more comfortable. I feel much more comfortable not having a wife, not having anybody that I need to be one with. My goal is to become one with God. Anyway, when you are in your daily life, be prepared for that final exam. Don't do anything with the thought that now I've finally got it made, because you'll never have it made. Everything, as I've said, adds up in the end to zero. All your attempts to succeed and achieve fame and fulfillment, all of them will end in disillusionment in time. Everything has to end, not even in disillusionment. That too has to come back to zero. And so prepare yourself for death by casting away all attachments from your heart and doing the right thing, because the wrong actions will stick to you like burrs, and you will have to pay for them sooner or later. But if you can always act doing everything for God, feel that I am only trying to please him and only trying to do what is right and true, then you will be acting rightly. So in this war of Kurukshetra, Arjuna is advised to fight the wrong tendencies in his own nature. This is the goal of the whole battle, and is what you should strive to accomplish in your life. Joy to you.